With time, my guys, take a look at that chart. Take a look at the arrow on the bottom. See the big red arrow, right? So that's when I left office. That was the lowest point, and that comes right from the government services, comes right out of Border Patrol. Take a look at that. So that arrow is the lowest amount of illegal immigration ever in recorded history into our country. And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And you know, that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that's sad, take a look at what happened.
Moving to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready.
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here.
Hawkeye's here. Moving to the spare.
Spare, get ready. Spare, get ready.
We ready?
Down. Down.
Are we good? Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Down. We're good to move.
Clear.
We're
Let's
clear.
move.
We're clear.
Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
Got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
Okay. My shoes down. My shoe.
Watch out.
Donald Trump rally. Donald Trump has been attacked during his rally in Pennsylvania. The U.S. Secret Service has killed the shooter. Former U.S. President Trump got injured because of the incident. He was escorted off the spot by the U.S. Secret Service. The FBI will be probing the case along with the U.S. Secret Service.
Ready.
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up.
Take a look.
Joining me right now is Rohit Sharma, all the way from Washington. Rohit, if you could tell us what exactly is the update as of now, and second, as far as that particular incident is concerned, how exactly is it that such a breach happened? Have the authorities been able to zero in on a reason as to why such a breach happened?
Essentially, right, I mean, this now is being investigated as an assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Initial reports suggested that it could have been a glass that ricocheted off of something that could hit his ear. But Donald Trump has come out and issued a statement. He has said clearly that it was a bullet that grazed his right ear, left him bleeding. We saw from the images that he was showing that Secret Service got on the stage. They provided him the cover and escorted him off the stage. The Secret Service is investigating this at this time with the FBI. Nobody knows how a breach has happened. I mean, there's an advanced team that usually travels wherever a candidate goes or a US president goes. All the former US presidents are provided Secret Service. So, I mean, this is shocking that somebody could take a rifle up to a building and try to assassinate a former president and could be a future president too. So this has really, really taken the country by storm. You've seen the reports from the statements from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and how they've, condemned this attack. We've seen a lot of world leaders come out and say this is not how things should be tackled. I mean, and again, this is coming in midst of all this polarized country, right? We are in a very, very hypersensitive phase of these elections, and for somebody to take a gun and try to take down Donald Trump just would probably, trigger more flames as it pertains to the U.S. elections and the political environment that exists.
Do we know anything, Rohit, about the identity of the shooter? Have the authorities made any such revelation?
No, Harshit. The only statement we got from the local authorities as well as the Secret Services that they're investigating it. It appears to be one solo person that, who did it on its own. It wasn't a coordinated attack. The attacker was neutralized as soon as, the shots were fired. So again, obviously somebody's lost their life. But Donald Trump is up, if you see him, pumping his fists. He was trying to, tell all his supporters he was okay. And I think as far as the breach goes, this is going to be a long investigation as to how could something of this happen in 2024.
That's right. The other question coming to my mind right now, Rohit, is as to what kind of medical attention was given to Donald Trump. Could you help us understand where exactly was he taken, which hospital, and what kind of medical attention has been given to him?
Well, he obviously was attended by doctors, and he was taken to a local hospital. They haven't revealed which one yet, but he was tended right there. Whenever a U.S. president or former president or a presidential candidate, if they travel in such scenarios, they have a medical attention always with them. So he was tended to immediately after he was escorted from the stage. Then he was taken to a medical facility where he himself was speaking with his family members. And it appeared that President Joe Biden tried calling him and tried to speak with Donald Trump to make sure that he's okay. So as of now, from what we've seen, what we've heard from Donald Trump himself, from his daughter, from all the Trump supporters, Donald Trump is doing okay for now. But then again, it's shocking that something like this could have happened when Donald Trump is running for re-election, or for election, I should say.
That's right. Do we know who he's surrounded by right now? I believe his immediate family definitely would be around him at the moment. Do we know of any other visits being made to him as far as politicians are concerned?
Not all his family members are with him. We definitely know that his wife, Melania, wasn't there. I think one of his son, Don Jr., probably was there with him around that time. We've seen some texts about how Ivanka Trump has, has spoken to him and others, all of his family members. But apart from that, there were some political leaders. There is a senator, or there is a congressman who's running for a senator. So he was there, and then there were other local leaders also present on, right behind the dais when the attack took place.
Right. Rohit, you mentioned about, him making a statement as well after that. I believe he's put out a statement on X. Could you just help us understand what exactly is it that he said in that statement?
Yeah, actually, he put it out on Truth Social. He doesn't use X. He does not use X anymore. He essentially confirmed that this was an attack, that this was a bullet. Initial reports were suggesting that, the bullet was fired in a different direction and something could have ricocheted off one of the things and hit him. But he confirmed that it was a bullet that grazed him, basically confirming that, the bullet was directed towards him. He's very lucky that it just grazed his right ear. He said he started bleeding and then just laid out what we've seen in the pictures. He also thanked the security services for, taking care of him right as soon as they heard those bullets come in and as soon as we see him ducking down. So he thanked them. And then obviously, he sort of painted the picture of what happened, thanking everybody, and then did not tip his hand or did not try to make it political at all, which is very good and kind of statesman from somebody like Donald Trump, and just left it at that. So essentially, before he confirmed what he said, media in the US thought it wasn't bullet, or bullet probably wasn't directed to him. After he confirmed that there was a bullet, in fact, that grazed his right ear, the top of his right ear, Now this has been treated as an assassination attempt.
Absolutely, and we have those visuals playing out for our viewers as well. In fact, stay on, Rohit, with us. We'll come back to you. Let me, at this point, read the statement that's been put out by Donald Trump. His first statement after the shooting incident took place at one of his rallies in Pennsylvania. In his first statement after the incident, he said that it's incredible that such an act has taken place. He said that the bullet pierced his upper part of the right ear. A lot of bleeding as well took place, is what Donald Trump has said in his first statement that he's put out on social media after the incident, and he's extended condolences to the families of those injured. Remember, there have been a couple of injuries as well as one spectator at the rally unfortunately lost their life as well. And that's the first statement put out by Donald Trump after the shooting incident took place at his rally. He said that much bleeding took place, and I realized that what exactly was happening. God bless America is how he signs off in that particular post that he's put out. He also extended he also said thank you and extended his gratitude towards the United States services, the Secret Services and the law enforcement for the rapid response on the shooting that took place in Pennsylvania. And he said that he most importantly wanted to extend the condolences to the family of the person that lost his life at the rally, and also to the family of another person who got badly injured during the incident. Donald Trump was taken to immediate care to the hospital, and that's where he was given immediate care and attention. We believe he's doing fine right now, but as he says, a bullet grazed the upper part of his right ear, and those visuals playing out on your screen where you see him crouching immediately after he felt what exactly had happened, and there was a lot of bleeding, as he says as well. Going back to Rohit, who continues to be with us all the way from Washington. Rohit, we just saw that statement put out by Donald Trump. As far as the investigation is concerned, is there anything that you can tell us as to where it has reached and in what direction could it be headed?
Well, everybody's tight-lipped about it. I think the first thing is how could this have happened, right? I think everybody is in a state of shock. One of the bystander who was at the rally, he said he pointed out to local police and the Secret Service that there was this guy who was crawling up to this building with a rifle, and he said it. He said they saw him carrying this rifle to this building, and they were trying to point it out. And yet, there was no immediate attention given by the Secret Service. So that's a big allegation. Nobody knows why. In events like this, a minute could be, seconds could be life and death. So it is very surprising that nobody paid attention to them. The other aspect is, as we've said it, this seems to be an isolated attacker. It doesn't seem like it's coordinated for now, but nobody's tipping their hand either ways for now. I think everybody wants to complete the investigation. We know the building that the shooter was on has been surrounded. There's FBI on the scene, local authorities, Secret Service. Everybody's trying to investigate as to who this person is. Nothing's been revealed, not even anything about this attacker. All that has been said is he has been neutralized, and that specific details will be shared later. So everybody is holding their breath to understand this. And you also have to understand this, Harshit. Any detail from this about this person, right? Let's say if this guy was, could have been a loyal Trump supporter who's disappointed in Trump. Maybe he's a loyal Biden supporter. Maybe he's somebody, who probably crossed the border illegally. We do not know. Whichever way they come out with this, and whoever this attacker was, that's going to define the political landscape of America in the next few months, and it could very well, polarize the nation again. So everybody's trying to be quiet about it. I think they will obviously reveal more details, but they do understand the enormity of the situation, where anything that could probably get leaked or discussed in public would probably charge already politically charged environment here in the US.
That's right. I think you make a very valid point, Rohit, about this changing the course of the election. Remember, we're in the build-up to the US elections, and as Rohit rightly points out, that this particular incident may as well just change the whole course of this elections, and that is something we'll have to keep a close eye on. What, in fact, we're getting to know right now is that President Joe Biden has, in fact, condemned the attack on Donald Trump. That's the latest we are getting on the former US president shooting that's taken place. The current president, Joe Biden, has said that there's no place for such violence. He said that we have to unite this country and that we cannot condone this particular incident. An investigation is underway, but the president, to ensure that there is a sense of calm around the situation, that there isn't any panic, he's issued a statement just moments after Donald Trump was attacked, was in fact shot at by an unknown entity at the moment, who's been taken down by the police. But Joe Biden, the US president, condemning the attack and saying that there isn't any place for such an act in the democracy. Rohit, the first statement coming from Joe Biden over there, you expect him to be at the forefront of this as far as sending out a message to the nation is concerned, because in such an instance, you know, panic can spread like wildfire. So it must be fronted by the president of the state to ensure that there is a sense of calm that remains, and that there is a sense of surety that the citizens feel about the country, a sense of safety as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Joe Biden is in Delaware. He's in his hometown, and he made out to one of the places and gave the statement. It's very assuring, right, to hear it from the president that although these guys are political opponents, there is so much bad blood between them, you know, things that have been said. But again, at the end of the day, I think as the president of the United States, I think he did the right thing. He came out and he condemned these attacks, and he said he called it out by saying there is no place for political violence in America. So did Vice President Kamala Harris right after President Biden issued his statement. We saw a statement coming out from Vice President Kamala Harris. But again, you know, I mean, look, America has been a very divided nation for at least, you know, 8-10 years, past 8-10 years. And we are seeing a lot of people come together, and, you know, even from some of the detractors of Donald Trump from the Democratic Party, and, you know, trying to understand the situation, trying to realize that, you know, this isn't a time to score political points. This is a time to unite the nation. We've seen what Donald Trump and his supporters can do. You probably see Capitol Hill right behind me, and we've seen what they've done, you know, on what they are capable of. So I think it's not lost on anybody that no messaging should sort of escalate this position right now. I think everybody wants people to calm down. We probably see a lot of such statements coming from all levels of leadership within the Democratic Party as well as the Republican Party. One of the operative at the Democratic campaign that I spoke to said this is a watershed moment in this campaign. You know, we realize that, you know, sometimes people say things and try to score points. But this isn't the time to do that. This is a time to unite and make sure that such incident cannot take place again. Remember, election season is still on. We will see Donald Trump again campaigning. There is RNC next week from Monday. There's a 4-day full-fledged Republican National Convention in Milwaukee. You will see a lot of leaders from the Republican Party taking stage. So the priority for Joe Biden, the Secret Service, and everybody in the US is to make sure that nothing of this sort can take place now or in the future.
Absolutely. A close eye now will be on the administration, on the security forces, because remember, there's still a fair distance as far as the elections are concerned, and all those rallies will now assume a lot of importance, as well as Rohit points out. Rohit, I'll just come back to you. Let me at this point, for our viewers, play out the first reaction that we have from the US president.
The Trump rally was a rally that he should have been able to be conducted peacefully without any problem. But the idea that there's political violence or violence in America like this is just unheard of. It's just not appropriate. Everybody must condemn it. Everybody. I'll keep you informed, and if I'm able to speak to Donald, I'll let you know that as well.
Okay, Rohit, we heard that from the US president in condemning the incident and saying that there's no place for such an act in a democracy as vibrant and strong as that of the United States. Coming back to the incident at hand, Rohit, you pointed out that this very well going forward could change the political discourse in the run up to the elections. How does this sort of position Donald Trump as a candidate now? You know, we know that he's anyway ahead. He has made a strong start as far as the run up to the elections are concerned. He's deemed as the front runner, somebody who's expected to come back to power. But what is now, in terms of his positioning, change in the run up to the elections?
Look, Harshit, for the last close to 3 weeks, what have we seen in the U.S. is the debate performance, right? That started off this whole stuff about how Joe Biden is weak and he's frail and he's too old and he should go make way for somebody else. And people saw during that debate, how well Trump performed. If you watch the video again, and if you could probably make the viewers watch again, the first thing he does, after he gets up, is Secret Service is trying to take him off the stage. They're trying to take Donald Trump off the stage. Obviously, somebody's firing bullets, but you see the image of Donald Trump fisting his, pumping his fist and trying to, make sure that he's sending a message that he's there, he's alive, and he's going to fight it out. I think that image of Donald Trump is probably going to go a long way in making sure he wins this election. He has obviously been seen as somebody who's strong, but in that moment when, a bullet just grazed his ear and Secret Service trying to escort him out, he had the strength to understand what the situation was and what it demanded from a leader that Americans want to see. And you see a leader, who stands up tall, who looks in the eye, of everybody and start, punching the air and sending that message that, he's here to stay. So I think if you were to ask me that question that you just did, I feel like this is now Donald Trump's election to lose. He has done everything right up until this point. There will be, there are a lot of months now in November, but looking at the mood of the nation, looking at what has happened, looking at how strong his supporters will be, and some of those independent voters, right, who would have seen that, hey, we saw a president in Joe Biden who was weak, and look at this guy, who's up there, standing tall, just right moments after an assassination attempt, and then goes out, and then issues this statement. So I think a lot has been made about, age and this and that, but the images, I think this probably would capture the imagination of a nation. That here is a candidate, who's going to fight for us. That's what his supporters say, who's all for America.
Rohit, just hold on there, Rohit. I'll just come back to you. Stay with us. Lenka White, journalist from New York, joining us at the moment. Lenka, thank you so much for sparing the time and speaking to us here at India Today. My first question to you, what exactly is it that you can tell us as far as medical attention to Donald Trump is concerned? Is there something you can tell us over there?
So Donald Trump, after it happened, Donald Trump was immediately taken to a local medical facility and he was examined. Donald Trump has also released a statement about half an hour ago where he said that he's now okay, he's safe, and that it hit his upper ear part. So the blood went like in this direction. And of course, it caused bleeding all over his face and on the shirt, as we could see from the terrible images.
Right, but how shocking is this really that, an incident like this, a security breach of this sort takes place, that too at an election rally of a former US president?
It's crazy. I personally have been a couple of times at his rallies, and there is always a massive amount of people. There are thousands at this rally. There were about 50,000 people. You go through a gun detector when you enter the rally. You have to wait several hours. According to the reports, this sniper, he was actually not within the parameters of the rally, but he was laying on a building, on top of a building overlooking the rally. And it's a massive security failure. I mean, they should have known, they should have checked it, they should be aware that there is such a possibility. So it's really questionable why it all happened.
Take a look at what happened.
Henga, it's interesting what you pointed over here. Contrary to you know what's been suggested till now that perhaps it could be somebody from the rally. You suggesting that it was indeed a sniper.